Somewhere in the back of a hardware store, on a shelf nobody restocks anymore, there's a can of something your grandfather used every week that you literally cannot buy today. Not because it's illegal, not because it's dangerous, because it got too expensive to make, too complicated to ship, or too easy to blame for something it didn't cause. 10 things used to sit on every hardware store shelf in America. Some are gone for reasons that make sense. Some are gone for reasons that will make you angry. And one of them isn't gone at all. You've just been lied to about why it's hard to find. Let's count them down. Number 10, strike anywhere matches. The kind you could light off a rock, a zipper, your boot heel. Strike anywhere matches are not banned. You can own them, you can buy them right now. What actually happened is shipping regulation. Match heads with that exposed striking compound get classified as hazardous freight. Big chain stores decided it wasn't worth the hassle, so they quietly stopped stocking them. A lighter costs about $1 and lights 3,000 times. A box of 300 strike anywhere matches now costs more than that lighter. That price gap did the rest. Number 9. Lye soap made with real sodium hydroxide. Then it disappeared from shelves, and it wasn't soap makers who caused that. Sodium hydroxide is also a key ingredient in cooking methamphetamine, and once that became widely known, retailers pulled it nationwide. It's a real public health story, but it also quietly ended a century-old kitchen tradition for a lot of families who had nothing to do with the problem. And here's the part most people don't know. You don't actually need store-bought lye at all. Leach hardwood ash with rainwater, and you get potassium hydroxide, which makes a softer soap, but works the same way it did 200 years ago. Number 8. A file that's actually hardened all the way through. Nicholson was the name everyone trusted. American files made in American plants. In 2011, the company that owns the brand closed its U.S. manufacturing, including its Alabama plant, and shifted production overseas. What came back was noticeably softer. Drag one file across another. A properly hardened file bites. A softened one skates and just polishes the surface instead of cutting it. Number 7. Real gum turpentine. Actual turpentine comes from pine sap. The tree gets tapped, the sap is collected, and it's distilled. What's labeled turpentine on store shelves today is almost always mineral spirits, a petroleum product. It's a fine solvent, but it isn't the same material, and it doesn't behave the same way on a paintbrush or a workpiece. U.S. gum turpentine production ended completely by the early 2000s. Number 6 is the one that surprises people every time: boiled linseed oil. The can at the hardware store labeled boiled linseed oil is not actually boiled. It's raw linseed oil with metallic drying agents added, so it cures in days instead of weeks. Genuinely heat-treated linseed oil, true polymerized oil, thickens naturally without additives, but it takes longer to produce and costs more, so almost nobody sells it. One safety note that isn't folklore either: rags soaked in linseed oil generate heat as they cure and can spontaneously combust. Lay them flat outside to dry completely, or submerge them in water before disposal. Number 5. Cut nails. A cut nail is sheared from flat steel into a blunt wedge shape. A wire nail, what's in every box you buy today, is cut from round wire and pointed. The difference in holding power is significant. A square cut nail is estimated to hold roughly 4 times what a wire nail holds in the same wood, because it shears wood fibers and locks against them instead of just pushing them apart. Tremont Nail Company in Massachusetts, founded in 1819, is still operating today and still makes traditional cut nails for restoration work. Number 4. Cast iron that was actually machined smooth. Pick up cast iron made before the Second World War and run your hand across it. It's glass smooth. That's because old foundries added a grinding and polishing step after casting. That extra manufacturing step costs money, and modern manufacturers dropped it. New cast iron pans are sold with a rough, pebbly surface, and buyers are told seasoning will smooth it out over years of cooking. The old pans aren't actually gone either. There's a massive supply of pre-war American cast iron still out there at estate sales and flea markets, and rust doesn't ruin it. Number 3 is the one I need to correct, because I had this wrong before I actually checked it. Arkansas whetstones. I assumed this natural sharpening stone, quarried since the early 1800s, was running out. It isn't. What actually happened is that the sharpening industry moved toward synthetic abrasives and diamond plates, which are genuinely excellent tools. The stone itself isn't scarce. What's scarce is the number of people who still know how to use one by feel. Number 2, a hickory handle with the grain oriented correctly. Look at the end of any axe or hammer handle, and you'll see growth rings. They need to run in line with the tool head, not across it. A handle with the grain running the wrong way looks completely normal and will snap without warning under hard use. And number 1, the thing that actually disappeared, and the reason all 9 other items on this list slipped through the cracks. A hardware store employee who actually knew the products. That knowledge lived in a person standing between the manufacturer and the buyer. Now it lives in reviews that only tell you if something arrived in one piece, not whether it was still working 19 years later. Here's your challenge. Pick one thing from this list and go find the real version of it. Grab a rusted skillet at a flea market for a few dollars and bring it back to life. Then tell me in the comments, what's the one old tool or trick in your house that actually still works better than anything you could buy new today?